ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Privileged Hour. In tonight's episode of the Privileged Hour, we will focus our discussion on the Consular Outreach Program. What is the Consular Outreach Program? Then why do it? Then we'll also touch upon the mechanics of the program, how it is being run, and how it's being implemented. Then we'll hear stories and explore what's happening in the real world, in real life, how it's being implemented in actuality. Then we'll hear stories from our fellow kababayans, Filipinos, about their experiences, and they will share with us their experiences about the program. And finally, we will attempt to come up with recommendations and suggestions on solutions on how to improve the program. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hermo Paktakan, and with me are my colleagues, Nicky here.
Good evening.
And Z.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the Privileged Hour. Consular Outreach Program. What is it? And why do it? Gentlemen, anyone? Z?
Well, you know what? Just simply by visiting any of these Philippine Consulate General or Philippine embassies on the homepage, you'll be able to define or to find a definition for the Consular Outreach Program. And I may quote from their website to say that the embassy or Consulate General conducts regular consular outreach missions to bring its various consular services to Filipinos residing in other provinces, like in the case of Canada, under its jurisdiction. The schedule of the outreach program is posted in their website, in their homepage of the Consulate General, like in the case of Canada, it's in Vancouver or is in Ottawa, as a general website. So basically, if you want to find a better definition, you can't find it anywhere else but on the website of the Philippine Consul General.
So basically, in short, the essence of the Consular Outreach Program is to bring the government and government services closer to the people, to the nationals and citizens of the Philippines. You agree?
And that's by all rights. That's a beautiful definition, and by its rights, that's the best approach or outreach program that such vast countries like Canada or like the United States that requires such outreach programs available. And I congratulate the embassies and the general consuls or Consul General of the Philippines across those nations to provide services closer to their citizens in different provinces or various provinces or different territories.
Nikki, care to add anything to that?
Yeah, that's a very good point. This is a program designed to help our kababayans, and we should take advantage of the programs that the Philippine Consular Office is trying to put out, and be aware of all the things that they've been doing, all the activities. This is not just to reiterate that there's a lot of other programs apart from the consular outreach that the government is doing. So the consular office is this is just a part of the thing they're doing.
You know, just adding a final note is I really do commend them for doing such a good job or providing such a good program.
Now let's talk first about requirements for applying a Philippine passport, Z.
Well, okay. I mean, once again, the website of the Consulate General of the Philippines, it clearly stipulates. But again, for the interest of our viewers and just to let them know where they can get it, again, it's the Consulate General of the Philippines. You can go on their websites, and definitely you'll be able to find on the home page of any program, outreach programs, and you'll find what they have written in there. So I may quote from their website once more. The requirements for renewal of your passport, as first is they need to have a duly accomplished passport application form.
Okay, that's one.
The second one, they need to have your latest passport.
Okay.
And they need to have one photocopy of each page or data page on your passport. They need as well to have a copy of a valid any valid identification card
Such as?
where
Okay.
where your middle name is fully spelled
Oh, okay.
out. I mean, now you know that the middle name is always abbreviated, but they want it to be fully spelled.
Viewers, please note of that.
Yeah, for example, like they need such as a driver's license or any government issued ID. They basically, or birth certificate or marriage certificate or baptismal certificate.
Provincial driver's license.
Provincial driver's license, yeah.
How about
Other requirements, they say, is proof that the applicant has not applied for foreign citizenship.
okay.
Thirdly, or number 6, they said self-addressed return envelope express post.
Self-address is stamped, I think.
Envelope.
Envelope.
Envelope. Yeah,
Of
that's
course,
very
any
important.
envelope should be stamped as well, right?
Yes, it's very important.
So yes, like you can just get that through Canada Post in this case. The last one is passport fees, a non-refundable passport fees of $60. Sorry,
It's now
$70. Sorry,
75.
75. Apologize.
Yes,
$75.
75?
$75.
$75. In the form of cash or manager's check addressed to the Consulate General or
Money order.
money
Yeah.
order or money draft.
Yeah, draft, yeah.
Again, addressed to
Philippine.
Philippine Consulate General.
Okay.
And this is pretty much all the requirements is easy and it can be accomplished at the time of the application. So again, these requirements are extreme. I mean, I would say explicitly expressed in a very clear, concise wordings about what's required on the website. Again, the Consulate General website.
Now, what you've just discussed, is are the requirements for applying for a Philippine passport, right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the procedure on how you make the application from first step to the final step. Anyone care to discuss that, Nicky?
So if we're talking about a booking an appointment with the Philippine Consular Office in Vancouver or the outreach program,
Yes.
is the same system. Okay, they have a third party administering the consular outreach program, but as far as the Vancouver Consular Office is, you go to the website www.vancouverpcg.org, and this is where you book your appointments online. And on the specific web page, you will see the available times, and you pick a date and you'll see the available times, time slot that you have to be there. And mind you, you have to be at least an hour
Fairly.
early.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't miss your appointments. And the consular office in Vancouver has moved to BC Place.
Right.
And it's a very beautiful office right now. It's a big place. It could possibly accommodate at least 100 people in there and easy. Right?
Now, Nicky, what you've just... Okay, sorry.
But what I would like to say again, I'm going to go back again to the requirements. And when I say requirements, I mentioned about the passport. This is just one of areas or one of the services that the embassies provided, the consulate general is providing, and that's for adult passports. There is for minors, for newborn, and again, if you visit the website, you will find all of those questionable or that question or the things that you're asking and inquiring about. Going back again to the outreach
Application.
program itself, again, I mean, I give a credit to the website or the consulate general's proactive approach to ensuring that the public or the kababayan are aware of this. If you go to the website again on the outreach button, and you will be able to find all the scheduled programs or all the scheduled outreach program in Canada. It tells you the program, it tells you the city or the town, and it tells you the date, and it tells you the place. Or sometimes the place is not set yet. And it tells you exactly the kind of websites and the time and the date that you should be logging in order for you to apply for one of those outreach program slots.
For the benefit of our viewers, what we've discussed are the generalities, right?
100%.
Let's use a specific example. a consular outreach program session in Edmonton.
Okay.
How do you start the process of being included for an appointment for an outreach program in Edmonton? Gentlemen?
Very good point, Hermo. The consular outreach program being done, let's say, particularly in Edmonton or in any area, Western District, as I call Western Canada, they have no set dates when they really release the appointment schedule.
And why is that?
Unfortunately, they can't give me a straight answer on it. I have called the consular office in Vancouver to find out what particular day do they release the said slots. So this is where we kind of question
We're in a quandary.
and ask why there is no scheduled date for the release of those appointments.
Because how would the public be expected to know about the
Precisely.
about this program?
And that's precisely the point. I love the program, and don't get me wrong, as Ziyad said, we commend the consular office
Yes.
for doing the outreach program. And I salute you guys for doing that. But without a set schedule to release these appointment slots done by the third party appointment plus,
Yes.
it's very, very hard for any individual to know when they're going to release it.
For the ordinary citizen in the street.
Yeah, so
yes.
it keeps you guessing, Ziyad.
It's true. It's unfortunately the process. If I get it wrong, or the mechanics of that is this: the consulate general, they contract out or they source out the booking system,
Correct.
and that booking system it happened to be in the States. And of course it's a financial endurement on the embassy part.
That is correct.
As I'm not sure if they have enough funding to expand it for bigger or to accommodate bigger and so on and so forth. So assuming that there is no funding, or assuming there is funding. But the way it is done is that this is contracted out or outsourced in the States, where an applicant goes to the website on a particular date, a particular time, let's say from this to this time, and it shuts off on this particular time, and they start logging in and they start applying, putting their personal data and whatever it is, and then submit, and it goes into phantom area of the cloud. And then from there are some other Filipino employees of the consulate general or elsewhere. They take this data and they start to how to say, it's fishing it or harvesting it and putting it in the forms so that they become included. And they were saying that it usually takes about 5 minutes for every applicant
That's
in
correct.
order for them to be able to get that. So the question remains over the fact is that how busy the site can be,
Yes.
how reliable that site can be.
That's precisely the whole point. You know, to get a third party to do it is a different story, right? It's a good thing that you have a third party doing it, but is the third party aware of the load
And the realities of the
and the
situation.
realities of the situation?
I believe that somehow, and again, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not going to quote in any form, in any shape of wrong data,
Yes.
but I believe that somehow the Philippine embassy or the consulate general is communicating with this third party of the expected number of applicants that they can go through their
Maximum.
websites, the traffic that they're expecting to. Now, whether that is true or whether that is founded or whether that is the case.
Now, you've been mentioning third-party involvement in the setting of the appointments, right? I understand this is just a new system. What used to be the old regime or the old system? If you have some knowledge, please share it with us.
Unfortunately, I have very little knowledge of the old system, to be honest with you. But the older system, you could go directly to the honorary consul,
Local, yeah, in the
honorary
locality.
consul
In the locality.
locality, and go and present yourself and apply for the said passport or documents that you would require.
So things were I mean, the way I perceive it, I may be wrong. and it's up to our viewers to, give their own opinions, right? But my understanding is, if I'm in Edmonton and I need to renew my passport,
Right.
I pick up the phone, make a call to the local honorary Philippine consulate office in Edmonton, set an appointment or request for an appointment. Then once a date is given to me, I appear in the local honorary Philippine consulate's office and deal with the business there.
Absolutely correct.
But you have to, again, we have to be we have to play an advocate.
Yes.
Devil's advocate.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say here is that is true, but at the time, the equipments and the security equipments and the demands and the ability to read and write and whatever they do with the passports have changed totally.
Since then.
Ever since.
Okay.
And
I get it.
now it's more digital, it's more secured.
That's correct.
It requires more demands on the security of each passport. Don't
Okay.
forget, it's a passport.
Now let's talk about another aspect of the program, and that's the mechanics of the program itself, how it is supposed to be run or implemented, and what services fall within the scope of services that are being provided by the Philippine government, supposed to be for the nationals and citizens of the Philippines. Anyone, gentlemen?
Well, if you take a look at the program, and if I'm not mistaken, and I won't generalize, and I won't put any words in anybody else's mouth with regards to the actual program, the outreach program, is it for passporting only, or is it for anything and everything that is required for a consulate general's services? And it's based on the definition. It is basically for everything. It is not just a renewal of your passport. It is for renewal of, they said, say applying for your birth certificate, or you want to authenticate any other documents that's required.
I can think of one, Z, and that is applying for and taking an oath of dual citizenship.
That can be done as well.
Right, Nicky?
Yes, that's correct.
Or replacement of a birth certificate.
Yes.
That is
Or
legal documents.
lost of legal documents. If it's never been just merely for passporting. It's probably that's the perception that or the urban myth that I've
That
noticed
is
that the outreach is all about
Passport.
passports.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a...
But it is true. It is mainly, it can be, and it should be, for a particular purpose, but it expands since they are in that kind of areas or territories to provide also the general services of the Consulate General of the Philippines. But again, once again, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, now we're going to play the devil's advocate here. And we're talking about passport. As you know, a passport it's the most legal international known document that allows the bearer or the holder to travel anywhere around the world, provided whatever permissions is allowed for that particular country. It travels between country and country. You use it for any legal documentations you want, or any legal document you need it to be used for.
For entry and exit.
Not just internationally, it's even within the country. It's a legal document or legal ID. You could use it for any purpose. And now with the new era, the new digital era that we live in today, those passports should contain as many information as possible on the holder, and it's for security purposes. And you know that now the security features, not just the security features, the security demands amongst the nations or amongst the world countries, they do demand information, and this data has to be in the passport. So being in that demand and having that kind of demand for security as well, it requires that the passport should always be in line with the international agreements on information, and it have to be secured and have to be traded amongst the nations. So the old way of sending your passport to the consulate general or the honorary consulate general, in that term, she will take care of it and send it to the actual consulate general or the embassy, has gone. It's dead. The Philippine embassy, as much as other nations now, they're going on a modernizations of securing passports and using data that requires to secure this passport, because it is international recognized, the only international recognized document that allows you to travel between country and country, and the only or the most required or accepted, I would rather say, accepted documents if you want to apply for anything and everything within the country itself. I got my passport. Yep, you can apply for anything because that's your ID. That's who you are, and it's all about you. So, in short, it has to be digital. In short, it has to go with what the country, like in this case, the Philippine General Consulate, has to require as far as whether it has to contain biometrics of the holder, or it has to have a different informations that with regards to about the bioholder, or about the holder as they are used across the international domain every time it's used. That's my take on why we can't use the old system. Where if you are an applicant and you want to go, so you go to the honorary consul, make an appointment, pass the information to them, and they send it or courier it to the embassy or to the consulate general within the country of residence. That's changed, and that's dead already, and it's old. So it's out with the old and with the new, the digital world. And that's why I said that we go with what it's required by the embassy or by the consulate general. And that's my take on these things.
Thank you very much, Steve, for that brilliant exposition on the legal framework of passports, and that it must comply with the internationally accepted standards, because we operate in the family of nations, right?
Yes, 100%.
Well, gentlemen, any final thoughts before we wrap up tonight's episode?
I have one point to say, and I would like to reiterate about that, is that whenever there is an outreach program, or if every time you want to know of any outreach program within your area, it's my advice to you is you just keep visiting the Philippine Consulate General and just be very proactive and be involved. I mean, it's everything is in there, and you just go and visit the website. Now everyone contains and everyone has those devices, that portable devices. You can log in anytime and you can access it anytime. So my advice to you, just visit the website, get as much information as that you have, be as ready as you have to be.
Okay. Nicky, final thoughts?
Well, very good points, Ziyad. Visit the website, and that's very important to get more information on upcoming outreach programs and other activities that the government is doing.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Your opinions are very much appreciated and very informative. And for our next episode, ladies and gentlemen, we will deal with the exploring the what's happening in the real world insofar as the mechanics of the implementation of the program, consular outreach program. What are the flaws or shortcomings, if any, that is characteristic of the program, and we'll hear experiences being shared or will to be shared by our fellow kababayans about their experience with the implementation of the consular outreach program. And also we will come up on future episodes with recommendations and solutions in order to improve the system. Thank you very much, dear viewers, for staying tuned with us tonight in our tonight's episode. And remember, at the privileged hour, together we can change the world for the better. And remember, this is the privileged hour. Good night, folks.
Good night, folks.